surprise! I am back with another review for The Baller Wives, Season 1, Episode 1. I watched Baller Wives and I decided to do a quick review for it. Don't know yet if I'm going to stick with the show, but so far the first episode was pretty good. So right now we're going to say it's a go. It's a go for now. I'm gonna try to get through this review fast because it's getting late and I got a long day tomorrow. My best friend's coming into town and I'm really excited, but I need to go to bed because we probably gonna be running around all day. Okay, so pull up my little notes. This show was a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean a lot of people. It was a lot of people on this show. I was so confused at some points. I just put my phone down eventually because I had to quit taking notes. I couldn't figure out who was who, and it was always a friend of a friend and then another wife. I was just like, forget it. All right, I'm going to just watch the show. All right, so the show starts out with Kiafa and Michael Vick. Kiafa is Michael Vick's wife. I think they said they've been together for 14 years, but they've been married for 4. I'm not sure if that's correct, but I know they've been together for 14 years. They have 2 children together, and then Michael Vick also has another child, so she has a stepdaughter. So 3 children pretty much all together. We know Kiafa to be the one who held Mike Vick down when he went to jail for the dog fighting thing, so we know of Kiafa very well. Kiafa is at home and she's scrolling through the Twitter feed because she's being attacked by people. Why is she being attacked? Because Michael Vick decided to get his behind on the television screen and talk about Colin Kaepernick's hair. Now, immediately, I knew that VH1 and Michael Vick and Kiafa was on that BS because that just happened a couple of weeks ago. So the fact that you guys are talking about it now on the show means that you probably went back and refilmed and reshot and did some other editing because I know that y'all shot this show months ago. So you're not fooling me. You got to get up early in the morning to get one over on me. And it was good to see them having a conversation about this and her really checking him as his wife on, what he said and how he said it, and Michael Vick coming to the realization, we hope, that that wasn't the right thing to say. Michael Vick said that he was really just thinking about the style, not really the cultural part of it. And, with everything that he went through, he should have been the last person to say it. All stuff that we've said, but it was good to see a husband and wife communicating and having that conversation because if you ain't gonna check each other, who gonna check you? Kiafa and Michael Vick also talk a little bit about him going to jail for the dog fighting thing and how hard it was. Michael Vick said that he became a better man after he went to prison, which, that usually happens with most people. After prison, you either become better or, you get so lost and your mind is so effed up, you get far worse, one or the other. But Michael Vick came out on the better end of things and he felt like he needed to do his time for his crimes. I believe that Michael Vick is just being politically correct because, come on, 3 years, you guys. All right, it was a long time ago, so we ain't even bringing that back. No, Kiafa loves Mike and likes having him at home. She kind of misses the days where she had her own personal time, so she wants that nigga to get a job. Michael Vick is just kind of like, whatever. Right? He's walking off, and I was laughing when she told him, you know what, you better quit doing this, that, and the third. You going to be cut off for some other things around here. Did y'all hear Michael Vick when he was like, so, I don't care. And he tried to clean it up real fast, and she was like, you care? You care about the booty? He was like, yeah, you right, I do care about the booty. I said, no, no, no. That was what you call it, a Freud slip. Okay, he meant what he said. Okay, if you don't want to do it, honey, I got somebody else that can do it. Okay, don't ever think that Michael Vick ain't getting it, but you know. He had to clean it up for the camera. Now, ironically, Michael Vick and his wife actually have a dog, and this dog is going to play a huge part in the storyline. Who would have thought it? Okay, Miss Lola. Matter of fact, Lola really need to be on the opening credits because that's how much of a part she plays in the story. But before we get to talk to Lola, we meet Geneva. Okay, Geneva Samuels is a friend of Kiafa's, a very good friend. I like their back and forth banter. I like the way that they play off of each other. I think that Geneva is a beautiful woman, and I love the way she ended that Basketball Wives Miami reunion when she went up there and said that Baller Wives is going to be a show about real wives, okay, real relationships. And Tammy was like, I felt like that was a dig. It was, Tammy, but a funny one. Geneva has been married to Asante for I don't know how long. I do know they have kids together, but like this is around the time where I was having too many people to be introduced to. Because right around the time we got introduced to her, we got introduced to another girl. Her name was Ty, and she was a friend of Kiafa's who's in the middle of a divorce. They're not sure if she even really wants the divorce, and Ty never mentioned who her husband was, so I'm imagining somewhere in their divorce decree, you know, it states that she cannot mention his name on the show at all, but I'm gonna do my research and figure out who that is because it's got to be another football player. This is where the dog comes into the story. Kiafa has a neighbor. That neighbor's name is Stacy Chambers, who is married to Chris Chambers. Stacy apparently does not like dogs, and when Lola was a puppy, Lola chased Stacy to the point where Stacy got upset and got mad at Kiafa. Kiafa claims that she apologized, but ever since then there's been this beef. Then they get to talking about Stacy, saying that she was a stalker and that she was crazy and everybody knows who she is, and they're laughing and giggling. All of a sudden from upstairs you hear the hey, y'all need to cut that out. You know, it's Michael Vick, okay? Michael Vick is upstairs. He's overhearing everything that they're saying, and Kiafa's like, oh girl, I done got in trouble. Michael Vick and Chris Chambers are friends, so he doesn't want Kiafa sitting around talking about Stacy and being messy. If anything, you need to try to make amends with her. Don't be down there talking about her. I don't want to get myself, wrapped up in between the two of you. So, try to handle that if you can, or else it's going to be awkward. So, that's what Kiafa does end up trying to do later on in the episode. Another wife we meet is Aja Crowder, okay, who is at Kiafa's house. She is the wife of Channing Crowder, who is a country pickup truck driving mofo. But they have been together. They have children together. Don't ask me how many years and don't ask me how many children. Again, it was all going real fast. But that's another one who's gonna be on the show. Then we meet Miss Stacy, and I'm gonna tell y'all right now that Stacy is going to be a handful. Do you hear me? A handful. Them titties in and of itself are gonna be a handful. Did y'all see what her titties when she popped up on that screen and that see-through polka dot? I was just like, oh yeah. She gonna give us the most. Stacy lets us know that she is a fighter. She does not play. We know that she does not care for Kiafa, and it all stemmed from that dog situation, amongst other things. She don't like her. She don't like her attitude. She don't like the way she treat people. And yeah, they neighbors, but she feels like Kiafa looks at her a certain way. Stacy lets us know that she's been with Chris Chambers for 10 years, and yeah, a lot of people speculate. A lot of people have called her a stalker, but if people really knew our story, then they wouldn't speculate the way that they did. They need to hear both sides of the story, okay? So, yeah, I took that to mean that it's some stuff going on there. We also meet Miko Grimes. Now, Miko is a former basketball player, which I thought was really cool, okay? She's also married to retired football player. Let's see, y'all. I'm telling y'all, there's a lot going on. See if I got the name. I didn't put the name. Miko Grimes allegedly had her husband fired. Okay, she went on to Twitter, did some ranting and raving, and pretty much got her husband fired because he wanted to get out the contract anyway. So there's a lot of talking behind her name. So Stacy and Miko have that in common. There's a lot of talk around their names and their husbands and controversy and all of that. But Miko, her beef with Kiafa is a little bit different. Her beef with Kiafa is that Kiafa kind of paints herself as this queen bee. Now, we don't hear Kiafa say that, but that's how it's set up, okay? Kiafa is, you know, she gets the girls together, that she's like the little socialite, I guess, and she's married to Michael Vick. I mean, it's just the show is set up that way. I mean, her husband's the executive producer, so she kind of is the queen bee. She's Shawnee O'Neal of the show, but I mean, I guess, I think that Miko's thing is she feels like Kiafa looks down on them and feels like she's up here and everybody else is down here and we're all queens in our own right. Nobody's better than anybody, which I can appreciate that, especially coming from a sister. I can appreciate that. I'm one who doesn't really care for anybody to make me feel like I'm beneath them either. Okay, that's one of my pet peeves. Don't treat me like I'm unintelligent. Don't treat me like I'm beneath you, and don't humble brag. All of those get you slick cussed out. But Miko has a different type of beef than Stacy has, and what I'm hoping is Miko doesn't become one of those people that's trying to rise so hard that she ends up making herself very unlikable. Because how she feels is legitimate, but I feel like that's something that can be worked out. Stacy's feeling, I'm really even not quite sure what her issue is. Stacy tells us that them hoes is mad because her and Miko look good and they got their bodies together and all they husbands do is run around and cheat. I said the irony. But yeah, they just mad and they don't like me. They fake, they phony. And then we also meet Jessica Payne, okay, the wife of Logan Payne. They're on a double date. They're having this discussion, and Kelly and Julius are talking about their past and the things that they had to go through when Julius was young. And there was a lot going on, which I took to mean, the hoes, the scalawags, he couldn't stay up out of it. That comes with the territory when you're dating a professional athlete, which is why I know that I could never, would never date a professional athlete, especially not a young one that's still playing. And child, I'm in here with the scarf. Who ain't no professional athlete checking for your girl. No way. I'm not the type. But still, even given the opportunity, I wouldn't be able to handle it because I know how my emotions is set up. I wouldn't be able to take it even with the money. And even Kelly says she put up with a lot in that relationship. Her mother told her, if you really love him and you want to be with him, it's going to be hard, but you got to hang in there. Hang in there and get that check. She didn't say the mama said that, but she might as well, because that's what the mama meant. But they made it through the storm and they're together now, and he got all of that out of his system. Go figure. Niggas always get it out their system after they done having sex with everybody and they old and washed up. Like, them young girls ain't checking for you no more. That's why you got it all out your system, okay? You don't want no old hoe. Oh my God, that's a no-no. Okay, you ain't trying to deal with them. Now that the young girls don't want you no more, you gonna straighten up and, fly right and be good to your woman. Yeah, Kelly is along the lines of thinking that no man can turn down a good blowjob. Okay, Kelly. Now, I'm doing this a little out of order, but it kind of fits in, so let's just talk about it now. Miko has a podcast, and on this podcast, she's doing an interview with Julius. Okay, Julius is married to Kelly, and Kelly is white. So, in this interview, she brings up the fact, you with this white woman, and the sisters might have a problem with it. So, I just want to know why this white woman? Why did you choose her to marry? He basically goes into how at first he wasn't allowed to date, and then when he was allowed to date, he was older, he was in college. Yeah, I think it was college. Um, he met his wife and he was attracted to his wife and he fell in love with his wife, okay? And she just happened to be white. Kiafa has decided to extend the olive branch, okay? She's going to extend the olive branch to Stacy. Michael Vick told her that they need to get along, so she going to follow her man, listen to her man, and she going to invite Stacy out to see if they can hash out the beef. So Kiafa, not only does she bring herself, but she got to bring an entourage. She bring a homegirl who's a sports publisher. She bring Geneva the Diva. I think she had one more person with her, but that's fine because Stacy brings Miko. And Miko's like bringing two people because she's strong. Did y'all see her arms and all of this? I was like, yeah, she is nobody I would want to get to tussling with. Absolutely not. So they sit down and they begin to have this conversation. Kiafa starts saying pretty good, I understand that you don't like dogs, and Lola was young and she was chasing you, and I came to your house and I apologized. Stacy said, no, you didn't. And Kiafa was just like, yeah, yes, I did. I could have sworn, no, you didn't. You didn't come to my house. She said, not Kiafa, Stacy, I knocked on your door. I came to your house. No, you didn't come to my house. You sent your daughter to my house. You didn't come to my house. You never apologized to me. And Kiafa is just like, okay, maybe I'm losing it here. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. And right then, I was side-eyeing Kiafa, and let me tell you why. If you know that you did something, then stand up in the fact that that's what you did. Don't feel like you got to cower down just because somebody else trying to rewrite history. See, that made me aggravated. That made me think, okay, Kiafa, did you or did you not apologize? If you really did it, then you wouldn't be sitting here questioning yourself. You know that you did it. Don't sit here and question yourself and backpedal just because she's trying to make it seem like you didn't. If you go over to somebody's house and knock on their door to apologize, you're not going to forget that you did that. So I don't know if she was trying to keep the peace or if she really didn't do it and she was just trying to hopefully make it seem. I don't know. But that made me kind of annoyed for whatever reason. So Geneva the Diva, she can't hold it no more. She's just like, oh, you need to stop. Okay, you need to stop all of that because I know she apologized to you and we already know how you do anyway. We already know how you are. You a stripper hoe, and Stacy's trying to defend herself. And I'm just kind of looking like, now what's wrong with being a stripper? Okay, we know plenty of strippers. But then Geneva gives us receipts. She gave me a receipt that I didn't even ask for. Okay, I didn't even ask Geneva to go to the store for this. She basically tells her, you a stripper hoe, and my man had sex with you in the strip club parking lot in the back seat of the car. Everybody was just like, Stacy denied it. She was just like, Stacy outright denies it. I would never sleep with your husband. Ugh, look at him. He ugly. And I was just like, now, well, I mean, Asante, I didn't think he was that bad looking. You know, when he was younger, probably he's still fit, but he probably had a little bit more build about him. And, shoot. If I was younger, Asante, if I was about that life, the backseat with a nigga I mean, we ain't talking about me anyway. We talking about Stacy. She's starting to get up and starting to trying to kind of get away from all the drama. And Geneva's just like, you had sex with him and you had sex with my brother. I was just like, Geneva, girl. Stacy. Girl. It's so funny because I was on YouTube the other day and I was going back and forth with this dude. We were talking about having a whole past. And he was basically just like, ain't no man ever gonna want to be with a girl who, used to have a lot of guys or used to be effing around because eventually that's gonna become a problem for the man and he ain't gonna want to be with no hoe. And I was just like, I have never been with a guy, a grown man, who has ever asked me about my past. Like, basically, do you have anything? Are you good there? Want to see your test results, something like that. But for the most part, when I'm dealing with a grown man, he's not asking me how many dudes I slept with or anything like that. We're grown. I assume you've had sex before. You assume I've had sex before and what have you. But I guess in this situation, we dealing with something a little bit different. Now I kind of see what old boy might have meant. I mean, if Stacy was living like this back in the day and she was doing these different things, I would hope that her man already knows about it just so that it won't be a shock when it does, hit the light like it did on this show. So I hope he already knew the allegations about Asante because if he didn't, child, Asante and the brother too. I said, Geneva, your family love them some Stacy. You might want to keep your eye on this whole situation. So then I'm sitting there looking at the TV screen, and all of a sudden you see like a city background. And how about the damn thing said 8 months later? Really, VH1 and Michael Vick and whoever else is on production 8 months later, really? So you expect us to believe, if we going by the timeline, that this whole Colin Kaepernick thing happened at the beginning of y'all filming, and then what, 8 months later? So basically, baby girl, okay, Stacy, she pregnant in the future then, okay, if we supposed to be realistic about this thing. See, that had pissed me off. Don't do that to us no more. So Stacy 8 months pregnant, y'all. We done really flew through time. She's sitting on screen with her husband, okay, Chris Chambers, and they're getting ultrasounds, and she talk about, yeah, the baby gonna come out. It's gonna be a fighter, just like his mama. So whatever. Now, when we're introduced to Chris Chambers, did anybody else get the feeling of? It almost seemed like Chris Chambers had been taught or he had rehearsed what he was going to say. When they were talking about their relationship, he was speaking as if, like, let me say the right thing. That's the vibe that I was getting from him. According to them, okay, Stacy came into his life. He wasn't quite divorced. Stacy didn't know about the wife. What did she say? What's that term people always use? She didn't know about his wife. Next thing you know, she moves to San Diego and they get together. There's a lot of controversy on the team, and Chris Chambers chose love over the game. That's the story they want us to believe. But, honey, the good old Lipstick Alley told me another story, okay? That's where you got to go when you want the dirt. And before this show is over, I'm going to look up every single one of them because I'm going to find out. I'm going to find out. I'm going to get to the bottom of what's going on. So from what we've been told, Stacy actually stalked this family, stalked the children, stalked the mama, stalked Chris. There were restraining orders against her. I believe they said 11 restraining orders where they had to call the police on this girl because she was stalking the wife and the family and calling the house and doing all this different kind of stuff. Some of the restraining orders were even filed by Chris. But let these two tell it. They had this, glorious love story and they chose each other against all odds. Okay. We'll take that for now. I'm gonna skip the whole part about Asante wanting to be a boxer and Geneva the Diva not really wanting them to do it. That I'm sure we'll get into more later, but let me just let you know Asante want to be a boxer. I'm just like, dang, you ain't had your head bashed in enough. You want to get your head bashed in some more. You must like that ringing feeling in your ears, because football to boxing, child, please. Have Geneva and Miko. They go out, they take their kids bowling. Miko has decided that she is going to take up this whole thing with Stacy and Kiafa. She feels like Stacy has things she wants to get off her chest. Miko also has things she wants to get off her chest, and I feel like it could be a conversation. We need to meet up again. Geneva is basically just like, I feel like you need to stay out of that whole thing, but if you think this can be tried again, then maybe, but if I were you, I would stay out of that whole thing between Kiafa and Stacy and between me and Stacy, all right? Just don't have nothing to do with you. They decide to have another meetup, all right? So over here on this side, you got Stacy and Miko and a friend that they brought with them. And then you got Kiafa and her girls. Okay, they're at different tables. They're having these drinks. And they're kind of ignoring them girls over there. Okay, Stacy and them. So eventually, Stacy and Miko go over and they're going to say hello. Now, Miko's giving hugs and saying hello to everybody and doing what she has to do. And the other girl who is with Kiafa, I think it was her same sports publisher friend, she said hello, to Stacy. And Stacy said, the old dry hair girl said hello to me. And I said, see, Stacy, you come into situations with the wrong attitude. If you was gonna come with an attitude, what did you come for at all? Just stay home, okay? You already pregnant, you got all that belly in there. Can't nobody run up on you, girl. Just stay at home. So Kiafa, trying to be funny, I guess, she asked the two of them, you like my dress? And Stacy said, we don't. I was just like, oh, Lord. Here we go. Here goes the drama. So they start going back and forth. Kiafa's really trying to ignore Stacy. She's not really trying to give her the time. Stacy throwing a lot of stuff in her face and, calling her fake as usual. Telling Geneva and her, y'all mad because y'all husbands be messing around on y'all. Y'all husbands be effing all these girls. I can name girls right now that y'all husbands is messing around with. Did you notice that Geneva and Kiafa really didn't have anything to say back to that? They basically were just kind of like, girl, whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, that Chris Chambers, he looked like a pillow talker. He got the pillow talk look. He got that look like he just lay down and spill all the beans. Okay, all this homeboy business. That's a friend that you can't tell nothing. When my friends get in relationships, I stop telling them stuff because y'all not finna sit down and make me the topic of conversation when y'all run out of stuff to talk about. I don't tell none of them my business because I don't want they man or they woman, okay, if it's a male friend, knowing about what I'm doing. See what's going on and on. She called her a dog face and, she was saying that Kiafa needed to go get that body done. And I'm just like, who tells somebody that they need to go get their body done? So many women who go and get all this surgery done. If you feel comfortable enough with yourself that you ain't got to do all of that, that really should be applauded and celebrated. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but don't put me down because I don't feel the need to go get anything done to my body. So, yeah, the whole thing was just whack. I don't know what Kiafa said to Stacy. It was something along the lines of like, you need to go do something. I can't remember what it was. And Stacy fires back, no, you need to tell your mom to do that. And Kiara was just like, my mama is dead, girl, okay? And she said, oh, is she good? So that's it. That right there, that confirmed it, you guys. I don't like Stacy. I'm sorry. I know I'm playing right into the producer's hands, but I don't care. Anybody who would make that kind of comment, and it wasn't even that type of situation, like Kia Fanes talk bad about her kids or, try to F her. None of that has happened for Stacy to be this mad. So nope, not gonna be able to do her. Not gonna be able to do it at all. But we'll see what's gonna happen, and I'm gonna watch the second episode. So we'll see how it goes. So that's it. Anything I forgot, charge it to my brain, not my heart. I was being introduced to 85 characters at a time. What you want me to do? All right. So I'm gonna edit these. First thing, well, probably in a couple hours. Give me a little rest, edit these, and get them to y'all. Y'all will see them on Thursday. Like, comment, subscribe, and let me know if there's any shows you want me to review or if any suggestions that you have, okay? Thanks for watching. Bye.